Okay, so now that we learned the create command, the drop command, how to drop a table, how to create a table, now we are going to discuss how you can modify existing tables, and you can have these scenarios. Let's say you have this table, DDL courses, which we have. Let's say you want to add a new column. This is a type of scenario. Let's say you want to delete an existing column. And another scenario would be you need to modify the data type of an existing column. So these are some scenarios that you will encounter. Now let's take the first one. How would you add a new column? Now I will type here the general syntax so you can see. It's the command alter table, then you will need to put your table name, then you will put add column, then you will need to put your column name, and then you will need to put the data type of your column. So let's do this. Let's try to add a simple column like this in our table. Alter table, DDL course. Okay, I need to, don't use this semicolon. Add column, and then you will need to put the column name. Let's type is sold. Let's see, just a boolean of type boolean, if our course is sold or not. Now I want to insert a default value, which by default is false. It's not sold. So I can put here this keyword, default value, false. It's not mandatory, but I want you to show you this. You can put here like options, because you can have different options. You can put like a check constraint and so on, as we have discussed. So let's run this. And as you can see here, Postgres has created me this table of type boolean and has inserted these default values. And this is how you add an existing to an existing table a new column. Now let's delete this column. So the same, I'm going to show you the general syntax. You need to put the table name, and the command will be just like that. Drop, as it is in a dropping table, and the column name. Alter table, DDL course, drop column is sold. And as I told you in the drop statement in tables, you cannot undo this operation. So try to think very clearly if this is what you want to achieve. And now you can see the column has been erased. Now let's go to the third one. Let's try to modify the data type of an existing column. For that, I'm going to recreate this column, and now I'm going to modify it. Now I'm going to show you the general syntax, table name, alter column, column name, the name of the column which you want to modify, the data type, and then you will need to put the type keyword, and then you will need to put your new data type. Now let's say in our scenario, I want to modify this from boolean to number, 0, 1. So 0 can represent false and 1 can represent true. So how would I do this? Let me write the command, and then you will see table name, okay, DDL course, alter column is sold, type integer. So what will happen if I'm going to run this command? You will see an error. Okay, the error is I have a syntax error. You will see this error. Column is sold cannot be cast automatically to type integer, because Postgres cannot do this conversion from boolean to integer. You need to explicitly tell Postgres using this command. So I can copy this command using is sold integer like this, and let me run it again, and you will see another error. Default for column is sold cannot be cast automatically to type integer. So what is trying to do? Postgres behind the scenes is trying now to convert false to a number, and this is throwing an error. So that is why when you have default values, you will encounter this error. So how would we do this? How would we achieve this? Basically, we need to do two steps. We need to drop the default constraint. Okay, have some. And then you will need to modify the table type. So I'm going to show you all these two commands. DDL course, alter column is sold, drop default. So this is going to drop the default constraint like this. And now when you insert a new value, it won't put default false. And then we can run our query. Let me put it here. Let me put it here so you can have it. And now you can see that the column has been modified, and by default it's 0 because it's a number. Now let's say I want by default to be 2. We can have something like this: alter table DDL course after column is solved, set default 2. So now whenever I insert a new row, by default it will be 2. For example, insert into DDL course ID name values, let's put 3 and hello. Let's see if it works. Okay, we have those constraints. Rise 20. Okay, it has inserted, and as you see here, the default value is 2. So this is how you add a new column, this is how you delete an existing column, and this is how you modify data type of an existing column. Now, what would you do in the case of, let's say, for example, I will drop this column user ID, which can have in itself a foreign key. Then we'll see in the next video.